I'm here with Carl Mirauer, recent graduate of the Business Accelerator. Carl, tell us about you.
Okay. Well, I'm a property guy, I suppose, essentially. I'm an investor and developer, and for about 11 years I was an estate and letting agent as well. So I kind of started my agency career working for your sort of standard corporate agency, learning the ropes. And shortly after then, a colleague and I, at the time, we decided to sort of venture out on our own, set up our own agency, which we ran successfully for about 5.5 years. And we kind of hit a point where that partnership went separate ways, and it kind of left me with a bit of a situation where I just had a new baby a few months ago. We had the big mortgage, the wife saying, come on, what's happening now? And you have to kind of make that decision of, do I go and get another job, or do I create a job for myself again? And it was good having a bit of support there, because my wife said to me, do you want to go and get a job, or do you really want to make this business work? I said, yeah, I do want to start a new company. She said, right, well, I'll support you 100%, but you bloody better make it work. So, it's kind of fuel to the fire to really, get you going. So started from scratch, and kind of felt that the reasons that I'd been put in that position before was that I'd got quite complacent with what I was doing. I'd not really been educating myself properly, kind of finished my university thing and drew a line under it. And, really I should have been learning new stuff, reaching out to people that were in the industry that I was in, trying to find out new information and trying to grow that way. So that was kind of the start of my journey on that path towards like self-education. And I suppose that time was coming into sort of 2013, about the time that I started listening to London Real. So diving into podcasts and, attending courses, seminars, all that sort of stuff to really, kind of help me on that entrepreneurial journey. So I guess it was about 3 years after the start of that latest company that must have been about, sort of this time last year. So we'd had 3 years of, decent trading, successful little business. But around this time of year, although we were talking about New Year's resolutions, although I didn't set any resolutions that year, it was kind of a time to reflect. And I thought about the business that we had, and although it was successful, it just wasn't really fulfilling. And I don't know, it made me want to make a bit of a change there. So someone gave me a little task that was actually really quite powerful. And what it was, they said, rather than writing a New Year's resolution, because you tend not to kind of stick to them, and I think that's because you feel you should do rather than really want to. They said, write down what your values are and what you want your legacy to be. It's two different kind of questions. And when I'd written that down, I kind of looked at it and thought, the answer, it's not about me, it's about what I can do for other people. And again, the topic that we've discussed as well. So that was really a sort of turning point for me, kind of to then think, how can I use what I'm good at and what I enjoy to serve as many people as possible? And so I've come sort of on this path now where, from this year, I've been really sort of interested in the concept of co-living and co-working. And I think that's the future of property, not necessarily co-living and co-working, but property that's based around community. I think a lot of businesses anyway, there's a community at the heart of it, to make it successful. So I've spent a lot of time delving into to this side of property development, and made the decision this year to sell the agency. So June, done, and it's a new chapter. So I hung up my estate agent jacket and focus full time on making a community that we can actually put into one of these spaces.
Nice. And why London Real?
Well, why London Real? Why the Business Accelerator? Well, as I said, the community element of this property project is something very different for me. It's not just about the bricks and mortar. And, having seen what you guys have done, starting out from, that first Dan Pena event, and then seeing the academy develop, and then seeing it come, all the way from the podcast to what it is now with the media company, with the community there, and, looking at something like the focus group, and when you get a group of people together like that have all got that energy, incredible things actually start happening because of that. So it was kind of wanting to replicate what you guys have done with your systems and your business to create that sort of vibe and that community, because I think it's essential to the project that I want to do.
And what made you finally to go ahead and decide to pull the trigger? Because it's an investment in money and time, and you probably got other options that you could have gone for. What made you decide to just go for it?
It just felt that it was the right thing to do. I could see what you guys had done using that method, and I could see that it worked. I trusted you guys. I knew you guys from before anyway, and I just knew it wouldn't be a letdown. One of the guys that I knew through London Real had already done the Business Accelerator, and spoke to me about it, said it was great. So I had full confidence it was the right thing to do anyway.
And what were the first few weeks, right? What struck you? What challenged you? What did you notice about the people?
It is challenging. I think the main challenge for me was just overcoming that fear of the sort of discomfort of broadcasting yourself. And as you said, I think you've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that was a really good kind of takeaway from the first couple of weeks. And just getting past that barrier of really caring what friends, family think about you posting content. But initially, I think one of the nice things is that you've got a really safe environment to trial it first. Whereas without that sort of community and without the group element to it, if you're just posting straight out there, into the wide world, it's probably a little bit more daunting than having a small group of people to just trial it on first and then release it. But you have to release it, yeah.
Yeah. And what about the community? What surprised you?
There's just, there's so much good energy there. There always is, and I don't quite know how you guys do that, but there's some little tactic there that seems to be working so well, because the people you manage to get into the group, again, it's that they've just been phenomenal. Really good support, such good ideas, so many different businesses as well. It's not that they're all from the same kind of background or same niche. They've all got so many different ideas, but they've kind of got a common connection together that they all just want to push each other forward. Really good.
What did you struggle with?
Scripting out the initial bit. Probably module 0 was actually the hardest bit for me.
Okay.
The techie stuff, the social media stuff, had some familiarity with it, but when you have to kind of go really strip it back down to why you're doing it and getting everything out on paper and laying out what your business is, it's hard. It's worthwhile. I mean, it's essential to do it, but that was the one that I really had to expend the most energy on, I think.
Kind of digging down to your core values and what you're really about.
Yeah.
What do you think are the biggest takeaways? What do you think you'll be using, for the next years of your life that you learned on the course?
I mean, one of the really nice things about it is that the group is evergreen. We've still got those people there that we can be in contact with. So everyone's got a different skill set, and that was evident on the course as well. That someone would come up with a problem, and it wouldn't necessarily be something that the team at London Real would step in with straight away. Someone else would say, I've had the same thing, and bang, they've got the solution straight there. So having that group to kind of go back to, and the connections that you've made with the people, I mean, that I think is the best thing about it. But takeaways from it, good is another one.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, the Jocko Willink saying. So, you might encounter a problem with your autoresponder. It's not sending out at the right time. Good. Learn how to fix it. Get better skills, and obviously, see the positive in the negative there. So, it's just overcoming those challenges and not seeing it as too much of a barrier that's actually going to stop you.
Are you using any of that stuff in your own life?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have said that as well, that it's not necessarily just a business accelerator, but it covers all aspects of your life as well. And there's been some other things where it does transfer, and I'm trying to actually put that into practice with my daughter. She's just started school, and she's doing homework and she's doing all that sort of stuff. And, you know, sometimes I see those frustrations with her, and, you know, it's quite nice to put that information to good use there and try and get her to sort of see past it. And, you know, if I can say to her, you know, good, I know it's Friday and you've been set homework, but do it anyway, sort of thing. So.
Is that working? How old is she?
Well, she's 5, so
Okay.
you know, don't push her too hard on that. But, you know, it's in the right doses. It's good medicine.
Does she get the concept of good a little bit?
Well, kind of, yeah. But you might have to sort of do it in different ways to get it across. But for me, it's the whole principle of, you know, perhaps don't let her just chuck in the towel with, you know, a small obstacle, push past it.
Yeah. My daughter starts saying good now all the time. Yeah. I don't know if she's making fun of me or if she's actually adopting Jocko's principle. But yeah, it's funny, like just the concept of resistance or using that word good. It's just a great way to not get down on the same level as the problem, and just to recognize it as an obstacle and to not get emotional about it. So it's like, oh, okay, this is just something that's in my way. There's always going to be things in your way. So let's just treat it unemotionally. It's just something I should expect. And so many times people will just get emotional and throw the towel. Oh, nothing works for me. I was never good at this. No, it's just resistance. And that's what keeps everyone else from doing it. But you just plod through it. And then the good concept of just being like, okay, well, how can we reframe this in a positive way?
That's it. I mean, those challenges, they're not personal. It's just an obstacle. So if you see it like that and have that sort of third person perspective outside of the situation, then you can normally push past it a bit more easily.
Yeah, and part of the reason we designed that course is because we do want people to be challenged and to be overloaded with work and hit with technical problems and hit with self-esteem issues and fear of what their friends are going to think on the vlog. So there's something that will get pretty much anyone, because somebody is bad at one of those things. And so
and it is intense. I mean, you know, you've got 8 weeks of bang, 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 bang. It's something different every week. So, you know, a lot of the time you might fall behind with one certain aspect, but, you know, you've just got to pick yourself up, carry on with the next one, and then you might have to revisit that in the same week. So you've got double work to do. I know a lot of people, they had the issue of getting halfway through and just rethinking the entire business model and be like, I'm going back to the start. And, you know, fair play to the people that have pushed through that as well, because, you know, that's massive resistance, having done all that work to that point and then, right, scrap that idea and start again. I think, you know, that's one of the things that's impressed me most about the people in the group there, that for some of them coming in with no idea at all about what business that they want to actually push forward, and to go from 0 to having, you know, actually revenue within 8 weeks is pretty damn impressive.
yeah, you've been in business. You know that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And it is impressive. And I was massively impressed. I think 20 some students recorded revenues on the course in 8 weeks. And like you said, some of them had no idea. And the funny thing is, some of them had no idea their intellectual property was worth any money. And so I think we had a musician, Connor, on the course, and it really blew his mind.
Yeah.
Changed his whole perspective on, you know, his whole industry and even the work he does. So.
Yeah, I remember him saying, and there's, you know, a certain element for some people where there's almost a guilt around earning money from what they're good at, and I think that was a big change for him, where it's okay to charge something for your services.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them push past that.
Yeah, that's another challenge in the course, is marketing yourself and selling, because a lot of people have a lot of hang-ups with doing that stuff. Where would you be now if you hadn't taken the course and just kind of gone on what you were doing for the last 3 months?
I'd be 6 months behind where I am now. I would be doing it slowly, steadily. I would still be doing it, but you know, that course has really shown me that you can achieve stuff in a much shorter time frame than you initially think you can. So for me, really, you know, moving forward, it's going to be building that community as well, because there's 2 elements to the project that I'm working on. There's the real estate side of it, but then there's the community side of it. And if the real estate project is going to take 2 years for the doors to actually open, you've got to have something in between now and then that bridges that gap. Yeah. And so you need to establish that community and actually develop a revenue model, you know, develop the proof that there's going to be occupants for the property at that time. So, you know, I think I would probably be well behind on the community side of it by now, and more sort of focused on the property side. if I hadn't done this course, but it's really opened my eyes to, driving that other side of the business now.
Yeah, it's very powerful to hear you say that, because it's an important part of your project in a big way. For anyone watching who's on the fence, not sure whether to hit the accelerator or not, what advice would you give them?
They're probably on the fence because it feels uncomfortable, and there's nothing amazing that happens inside that comfort zone. So just stepping outside of it a little bit, it may be a little bit painful at the start, but the payoff is worth it. And I think if you're on the fence, you kind of know that, and it's just that little bit of fear. But if you push past that, it will be hard. It's not that you're going to go into it and it's just going to be a breeze, but that's the point. I don't think you learn anything from it if it's all easy. Then you kind of know it already. So yeah, I'd definitely say take the plunge. It would definitely be worth it.
And your next year, what's it look like? What's the future of your development?
It's going to be hectic. It's going to be a lot of broadcasting as well. It's going to be a real different year for me. So it's not so much behind the scenes on the property side. I'm going to be putting myself out there a bit more and really connecting with more people. And I think I really enjoy that side of it even more now, because it's something that you really have to work on. It's a skill like any other, but it's one that's massively rewarding, and it's really helped me with that side of it, this course. So yeah, there's going to be more videos of me, I think.
Yes. I'm so happy to hear that, Carl, because I remember you came by here about 3 months ago in the studio, and you're like, I don't know if I should take this course, and I was like, you definitely should. And at the time, you were talking about property a lot, and yet it's like you said, the community is what makes spaces, especially the ones you're building. And now just to hear you saying that, and the fact that you're going to be building a community and creating more media, you've definitely understood and got a lot out of this course, because you weren't using that language even in the first couple weeks. It was like, yeah, Brian, but it's the property, as any good property guy would talk. But the fact that you're realizing this, man, I think that's super powerful. And I'm telling you, if you get the community right, I honestly think the property would be the easy part.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
I totally agree. You need the club before you have the clubhouse.
Powerful. Carl, you've been an early adopter of London Real, hugely. It's been just so awesome, and it's been...
likewise.
It's been a real, I don't know, it's, to have someone like you invest in us early on is a big deal. And I remember you at the Dan Pena event at the Ritz. You were the first guys in the academy. You were the first guys to buy our live event stuff, and it always meant a ton to us. So thanks for continuing with us on this journey.
No problem.
And being at the Super Focus Group last night, and it doesn't go unnoticed by me or the whole team. So thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, and I only do that because it's awesome. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Carl. I want to see you broadcasting and vlogging, and I can't wait to see this property and let us know how we can be involved.
Next Super Focus Group, eh?
Let's do it in your place. Cool. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you. Cheers, Brian.
All right.
All right.